The new version of the GAC GN6 is finally here, and now they've renamed it to be the GAC M6 Pro. Now this car, this MPV, will come in two variants. You have this GL right beside me, and there's an even more affordable GS variant, which we'll take a look at later. But anyway, let's talk about this car, right? So what you have here is a 1.5-liter turbocharged gasoline engine making 174 horsepower and 270 Newton meters of torque, which is plenty of power for the size of this vehicle. And if you compare this car to its predecessor, the GN6, it looks a little bit flashier now. You have a nicer grille, there's a lot more chrome on it, you get LED headlamps. On the side too, you get 18-inch rims. Now for this GL variant, you also get the addition of privacy glass here by the rear. And if you look down below, there's a chrome strip there just to add a little bit more, zing, a little bit more luxury to it. Also, look under the wing mirrors over here. There are cameras because this car has some sort of like a 360-degree view camera, which again is really impressive, right? Especially considering the price of this car, which by the way costs 1,598,000 pesos. That's priced super close to a lot of compact MPVs, and yet you're getting a full-sized MPV. But is it just good on the exterior? Well, let's check out the interior too. So inside the M6 Pro GL, you would expect an interior of a car of this price point to not be too well appointed, right? But looking at this is pretty good. You have a leather-wrapped steering wheel, you got so much buttons right here too, because this car even gets adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, lane departure warning, and all that, meaning it has full ADAS features. Really impressive. Your screen setup here too, there's a double screen setup, there's a 7-inch digital instrument cluster and a 10.25-inch center touchscreen with Apple CarPlay. Unfortunately, no Android Auto though. Now, look at this center console right here. There's this pretty nice shifter. There's even like two USB ports, one of which is a USB-C port. You have an electronic parking brake, you have an auto hold, and you got so much cubby spaces in here. Two cup holders by the center, bigger cup holders and jug holders by the side, and even this center panel. Now, also I'm noticing that the materials so far, they look pretty nice, they feel pretty nice. These are all leather wrapped except for this top area, and even the side of the doors, there's like this, I don't know, satin silver trim on it, plus those aforementioned soft touch materials. Really pretty good overall. Now, if you look on the top too, you even get a panoramic sunroof, and your seats are all covered in leather, and you even get like 6 airbags in here, and you also do get 8 speakers. Now, for the rear seats right here, you'd also expect that the car from this price will have pretty regular bench seats, right? But no, you get full captain seats back here, and it's pretty cool how, if you look here by the side, only for this rear right passenger, there's even an extra USB port over there. So what about the guy here on the left? Does he have his own USB port? Well, not on the seat, but if you look here by the center, yes, there is an additional USB port there. You can also control your AC settings over here. And these seats, yes, they do recline pretty well enough, which lets you get really, really comfortable, and you even have this like footrest to keep you even more comfortable. But let's not forget that the M6 Pro is a 7-seater MPV, a full 7-seater MPV. So you still have these third row of seats, right? And right here so far, I'm seeing my legroom to be not too bad at all. This is like an inch or so of legroom with these second row seats slid all the way back. And there's a couple of amenities here too. I have my own air vents. I have my own USB port on either side. So yeah, I think even for longer journeys, this shouldn't be too bad, but do stay tuned for the full review for that. With that said, if 1,598,000 pesos is still too expensive for you, there's even the lower variant GS. Let's check it out now. So this is the GS trim right here. This only costs 1,230,000 pesos. And on first glance on the outside, it honestly isn't too different from that GL variant. I'm seeing a little bit less chrome here on the grille. The headlights are no longer LEDs, but it's about the same. Now, let's check out the side of this car, and you'll see too that we now lose that privacy glass here by the second row of seats. But that's fine too, you can just put kit on it, right? And for your rims, you lose out on those 18 inches, instead you get 16 inches. You also lose out on any sort of camera, that chrome strip by the bottom, but that's it. They're practically the same vehicle. And again, 1,230,000 pesos, that's about the same price as like the Mitsubishi Expander, or the Toyota Avanza, or the Toyota Veloz, or the Honda BRV. But it's about the size of an Innova. Now we're inside one of the M6 Pros, and can you guess which trim it is? No, exactly. Because aside from the lack of leather seats, this cheaper GS trim looks pretty similar to the GL. I mean, if you do look closely, there are a couple of changes right here. So you don't get the leather wrapped steering wheel. You lack buttons for your adaptive cruise control, only regular cruise control because this doesn't get ADAS features. Your shifter's a little bit different too. It's a little bit chunkier. It's a little bit more old school looking. But everything else, look at your electronic parking brake, your auto hold, your USB ports are all the same. Even the screens, they are the same size. 7 inches for the digital instrument cluster and 10.25 inches for the center touchscreen. Also with Apple CarPlay. Right? Okay, going back to the seats, lacking leather seats, and now they're only manually adjustable. But if you don't really change seat positions every 5 seconds, this honestly isn't too bad. Oh, if you look up top too, you do lack your panoramic sunroof, but yes, I've heard people tell me that they didn't want panoramic sunroofs because they think it's going to be hot in the Philippines. Don't really work that way, but yes, in case you want an M6 Pro without a panoramic sunroof, you can get it too with the GS. Now, other changes, your speakers are only 4 instead of 8, and you don't get too much airbags in here. As far as I know, you only get 2 front airbags. So this is the cheaper variant, right? So it must not have captain seats. Well, then you're wrong, because even the GS variant gets captain seats, and you share the exact same amenities as the GL2. You have that USB port. You even have this like cup holder by the side. The captain seats, they do get your armrests on both sides. You still get a footrest by the bottom. You still get AC controls. Really, it's really not too different from the GL. So again, at 1,230,000 pesos, you're getting a full-sized MPV with pretty good amounts of bells and whistles for the price of a compact MPV. Anyway, we'll leave it at there, and thank you for watching. We are very excited to bring out these 2 variants of the new M6 Pro out for a full review, so stay tuned for that.